This past election was not only a way to vote on our next president of the United States, but also a way for the village of Chauncey to bring back a police department. Since the department dissolved thanks to a different levy not passing during the November vote, officials in the village have been trying to find a way to bring this back to the town itself. When it finally came time to vote on an income tax levy that could bring the department back, Mayor Amy Renner was optimistic that the vote could pass November 3rd.
We have a tough time passing tax levies here, so we knew it was a strong possibility that it was going to fail, but I only experienced overwhelming support for the levy when talking to people. So I knew it was going to be a toss-up.
However, when the vote came, the village voted no on 55% of the vote, so the levy did not pass. One reason for this could be how exactly the department dissolved in the first place, as not only was there an issue with certain tax levies failing to pass, but issues between the police and its citizens left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. One former officer, Charles Swance, was found to be part of a drug ring back in 2014. He and others have been part of a string of possible corruption within the department, a reason to not want this to come back.
Honestly, the people here had a lot of mistrust towards the police operation. They didn't feel like their tax dollars were being spent in a way that they wanted to see. So from what I've heard, it really seemed justified.
Now that the vote hasn't passed, it is up to the Athens County Sheriff Rodney Smith and his officers to help provide law enforcement to the village. However, it'll be business as usual for them.
For the sheriff's office, it really is status quo. I mean, they really they don't have a police department now, so we always make ourselves available for the citizens of Chauncey. So there's really going to be no change at all.
Without a police department moving forward, having a normal election and getting the information out to the public beforehand might be the best way for them to get law enforcement back in the village.
The Athens County Sheriff does believe there should be a police department in the village of Chauncey, but he and his officers will be right by their side, with or without one.
I spoke to the mayor earlier when they was talking about the tax levy, and I said, of course, if you choose to use a police department, we'll be there to augment what you need to do and help out whenever we can. But if it would ever reoccur that we don't get a police department, or you don't, we'll continue doing what we're doing.
All in all, the pandemic hurt the fact that they could not get information out to the voters, which is something the mayor thinks could help them if they had a normal election next time around.
I really just feel like going door to door. Luckily we're not like a huge village, so that's not like hard to imagine us being able to do that. But I really think that I could get a team of people together and go door to door to explain the levy and how it's structured, because as a municipality, we're able to structure the levy how we want. So I think that's also, a shortcoming that we had, was that people didn't understand how we had structured it to benefit the residents here as much as possible. And so by going door to door, I think we could have done a better job of explaining that to people, and they would have realized that this tax probably wouldn't have affected them at all.
With their eyes now set for a possible normal election coming up in 2024, this could be a topic that comes up until it actually gets passed and there's a police department in the village of Chauncey once again. For In Depth, I am Jacob Murray.